Yeah, so I think the psychophysical harmony argument is sound.
Sure, man. It's sound.
Yeah, like as in the conclusion follows from the premises.
Okay, well, usually this argument is iterated as abductive. What is what can you present the argument?
Well, okay, yeah, like sure, like we can just say that if we want to be technical, yes, the likelihood that theism is true under psychophysical harmony is, or sorry, that it's more likely given psychophysical harmony. There we go.
I mean, are you just saying it's more likely ceteris paribus?
What was that? The last part of what you said?
Ceteris paribus
Yeah, what is that?
means all else equal.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay, but that's cheap. Do you think it's
How is
evidence
it cheap?
omnibus per sensu? How is ceteris paribus evidence cheap?
Yeah,
Because
I'm not used to this.
you could theorize from a position of complete ignorance, only have one data point, and a really robust theory is going to explain better than the null hypothesis. And within that epistemic context, it's evidence ceteris paribus. But that doesn't mean that it's evidence when you consider other things. So,
What other things would you be considering, though?
it doesn't matter what the ceteris
It definitely
paribus.
does.
No, it
It
doesn't
does.
matter with respect to it being ceteris paribus evidence, because the problem was that you just didn't know what it meant for something to be ceteris paribus evidence. Okay, and the point is, you can't actually make an evaluation of the quality of evidence if all you're looking at is evidence ceteris paribus. Because in order to evaluate the quality of evidence, you need to see how the evidence relates to other things which are being held constant. So you can't make an evaluation of the quality of evidence ceteris paribus and then say it's irrelevant, because in order to say it's relevant, you'd have to already know that the other things you're considering, but you're not considering by stipulation when you say it's ceteris paribus. So it's not relevant.
Okay, well, no offense to you, but this is the first time I'm hearing this nomenclature, so maybe you want to use more traditional philosophical nomenclature.
Ceteris paribus is traditional philosophical nomenclature.
So then maybe you don't have to use the Latin. Maybe you could just speak in English.
All else equal.
Define all else
equal, bro. How are you going to run abductive arguments? You don't even understand the epistemic constraints you put on the abductions.
Because these are just like cheap, like, oh, gotcha, like, oh, he doesn't know what this
cheap.
means.
You just don't know.
Yes, it is. You're trying to capitalize. You're trying to capitalize on this fact because you know that the argument is valid.
Do you understand that psychophysical harmony, like in the literature on psychophysical harmony, and in most abductive Bayesian arguments for God, like ceteris paribus is a standard qualification. Like, why would you pretend as if I'm trying to knowledge gap you disingenuously? I'm not using a proprietary term. This isn't like super over your head if you're actually familiar with what you're talking about. Uniquely because the abductive argument you're giving me is the data of psychophysical harmony. You should know what I'm talking about. So do not try to present it as if I'm being disingenuous.
Yeah, well, it's not a common.
You just have a genuine lack of knowledge.
It's not a common objection, though.
This is a common thing you have to establish when you make an abductive argument, is what is the epistemological significance of the evidence? Is it evidence ceteris paribus, or is it something else? Is it stronger than that? So, I mean, that is standard. That's just wrong.
Okay, so then sure, let's grant that all things are equal. Naturalism being naturalism, and theism being the like, are you trying to posit that there's some symmetry, or because I don't think there is a symmetry?
What, dude? No, it's not what I'm doing. Do you think that the evidence? Do you think that the data point is evidence decisively when you consider everything?
Consider everything, yeah. I mean, considering naturalism and theism, whenever we look at those two.
Those are hypotheses. Those are not what's being considered. The thing being considered is the datum. It's the data point. It's psychophysical harmony. So I'm asking, do you think that psychophysical harmony is decisive evidence when you consider everything? Or do you just think it's evidence ceteris paribus?
So, okay, maybe I'm not understanding where you're trying to go with this. I'm just saying that it is more likely under theism than
ceteris paribus more likely.
Sure.
Okay. It's ceteris paribus more likely. Awesome, dude. Cool. Do you think it's decisively more likely?
Decisively, as in like what?
I'll be honest with you, maybe you should consult Google Gemini before you talk about this topic with somebody. Because
you do not know. You just want to.
Talking about.
It's because you just want, instead of having a genuine conversation, like whenever Graham Oppie and Cutter discuss this stuff,
I'm sure Graham Oppie and Cutter know what ceteris paribus mean.
None of these objections come up.
You don't think Graham Oppie and Cutter know what ceteris paribus mean?
I'm sure they know what it is, but I'm sure it's not. So then why didn't
you don't think it's relevant? You don't think it's relevant?
Not to this particular argument, the one that I'm.
You're going to tell me that you just now learned the term ceteris paribus. You just now learned this term. I'm not even convinced you fully grasp this term, but suppose you do. Suppose you now grasp in the last 3 minutes what ceteris paribus is. You're now going to tell me it's not even relevant. You're now going to tell me it's not. Stop. You're now going to tell me it's not even relevant to the debate when you didn't even know what the concept was.
Yeah, because the concept isn't applicable. I'm trying to say.
You don't even know what the concept. Could you iterate to me what ceteris paribus is and its significance whenever you're making an abduction argument?
Yeah, sure. So you said what it. First off, to clarify, you said what it means, not how to apply it to this.
I already told you how to apply it. I already told you.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You just gave me more definitions. So this is what I mean by being disingenuous.
I told you how to apply it because I explained to you that ceteris paribus evidence is cheap.
Yeah. Do you think that's an explanation? 2 words?
Yeah, because the term. Do you know what it means for it to be like? If you're familiar with the weighing of evidence, like you would know. Oh my god, bro! I'm be real with you. Maybe just pull. I will give you a 3-minute brain break to go and research what this term means. And you can come back.
All right, cool. Leave me on the life.
All right, bro. You got 3 minutes. Okay, while this fucking guest goes and educates themselves on the basic qualifications of abductive reasoning and the clauses you can put on a theory and as a piece of data point. While he does that, some people contemplate that. Do not come in here fucking swinging your hands, talking about fine-tuning, specifically the data point of psychophysical harmony, if you do not know what you are talking about. Like what? What are we doing? And then don't lecture me about whether I'm being bad faith if you don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. I haven't even asked him like the theory first yet. Like I haven't even asked him like what the competing hypotheses are supposed to be. I don't know if it's bare design. I don't know if it's naturalism. I don't know. I haven't even asked him that because we're not even at that level. We don't even have to define the hypotheses yet. We're just trying to get what is supposed to be the result of the abduction. We don't even know. He doesn't even know. I'm going to have to invite Jiminy Jargon into the live stream to explain this, bro.
So then yes, all else being equal, yeah, like obviously. Yes, okay.
Do you think, of course it's ceteris paribus. Well, I'm only saying of course, but of course, basically it's ceteris paribus. Do you think it's also decisive evidence, all things considered?
Yes.
Okay, why do you think that?
Yeah, sure, because we can conceive of like philosophical zombies.
How does that make it decisive evidence, all things considered?
Oh, as in like you want some like empirical level, then like, yeah, of course. I mean, we're doing philosophy. There's no like, it depends on what you mean by evidence.
Are you serious?
I mean,
what is unclear about my question? Do you think you're answering my question?
Yeah, I know I am.
What do you interpret my question? Do you have knowledge? Knowledge is not cheap, unfortunately. Unlike ceteris paribus evidence, knowledge is very expensive. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think my question was?
You asked specifically, do you have evidence, decisive evidence for psychophysical harmony?
All things considered. Not for psychophysical, no. I'm not asking do you have decisive evidence for psychophysical harmony. Psychophysical harmony is the data point. Okay? It's not the thing you're providing evidence for. You're providing evidence for the theories, like theism or naturalism. Okay? So psychophysical harmony is the evidence you're allegedly using to support the hypothesis theism. And you're saying it's both one, ceteris paribus, you're thinking it's evidence. I haven't even granted that, but suppose you think that. Are you also making the claim, all things considered, it's decisive?
Let me think about that. Okay, because if it's not decisive, well, then you're just going to say, okay, well, I mean, I'd have to say yes.
Okay, why
I
do you
don't know
think
what that
it's
commits
decisive?
me. I don't think what it commits me to, but I'm not sure what it commits me to, but yes. Let's just say for now, yes.
Okay, then I need you to provide me the reasoning as to why you think it's decisive evidence, all things considered.
Yeah, because, well, so what was your issue with the pea zombies example?
It doesn't establish that it's decisive evidence, all things considered.
Okay, so then I would just use, like, I don't know, some kind of like dialectical inference and be like, okay, well, then evolution doesn't explain psychophysical harmony. Yeah, evolution doesn't explain
Oh
it.
my God, you don't know what I'm asking you, bro. Look up right now the difference between evidence ceteris paribus and evidence omnibus persensus. Just look that up and I'll give you 3 more minutes so you can come back and answer my question
All right,
correctly.
cool. Thanks for being charitable, all things
You're
considered.
welcome, bro. Fucking bro, send me Jesus and whatnot. Oh, brother. I'm sorry. This guy caught me when I'm in a bad attitude. I don't have the patience to explain abduction to him right now. I'm sorry. I haven't even gotten into the modal stuff. I haven't even gotten into what is the standard for likelihood. I haven't even. Brutal. Oh my goodness. Crazy chat I just got. Craziest text of my life I just got. Holy shit. Do you think atheism and agnosticism are synonymous? No, I don't. I think someone who's agnostic is contemplating theism as like a live epistemic possibility. I'm sure you're sure.
Okay, so yeah, sure. I mean, like you're asking for decisive evidence for psychophysical harmony, ceteris paribus, or whatever the jargon used is.
I'm not asking for evidence of psychophysical harmony. I'm asking
Okay, so
for decisive evidence of theism. And I'm specifically asking, do you think that psychophysical harmony is decisive evidence for theism, all things considered?
yes.
Okay, why do you think that?
Yeah, I mean, okay, I think physicalism is false, first off. So you can't take that viewpoint.
What kind of physicalism?
Type A.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Type B physicalism. Can you remind me what type B physicalism? I'm only aware for type A because I know that's
So type B physicalism is the view that the mental states are not ontologically gapped, but are physical necessarily. Really.
Okay, I think if you committed to that view, you would still have to hold that there's fine tuning there. In which case, the theist has evidence. Yeah.
Why would you have to do that?
Because I mean, if there's an epistemological gap, and we can't know like epistemologically, then
the epistemic gap is just that neuroscientific. The epistemic gap is just that neuroscientific language is not reducible, or phenomenal language is not reducible to neuroscientific language.
Okay, sure. So if that's the case, though, that still doesn't get away with the probabilities of psychophysical, like of all the possible states of affairs it could have been.
If type B physicalism is true, then it's
there's no explanation. Well, if they're necessary, I would argue something different. You would probably, even though they're necessary, you would still require some sort of explanation of why those rather than others. And you could,
necessary?
Yeah, but the argument is that just calling it necessary isn't an explanation. Like, it is technically
an explanation of it. Yeah. Then what is there a non-technical form of explanation that you're trying to get?
So, like in mathematics, right? Like, usually whenever mathematicians do proofs, I've done proofs. We don't just like, okay, if somebody wants to do the Riemann hypothesis, the answer isn't just, oh well, they're just all necessarily like, say I want to say, oh yeah, the answer is yes, and then somebody asks, okay, well, explain why in your proof. If I say, well, it's necessary, it's trivial, that's not a correct proof. So it seems that we never do this in.
Sorry, what is the kind of explanation you're asking for?
Just like why these states of affairs, or like, okay, suppose you have, I don't know, some explanation, like just call it like box P or something. Okay, and box P, as a part of that explanation, box P consists of like, I don't know, 6 other boxes. box Q, box R, box S, whatever. Now, okay, you say all these are explanations, cool. And when asked why, well, because they're necessary. Well, okay, why that conjunction of necessary facts? Why that structure rather than other? It just doesn't get you much.
You're not identifying the kind of explanation you're asking for.
So like I don't know, like just like standard English like definition of explanation, like not the modal logic.
I don't know what you're asking for, especially when you're trying to speak technically. Like I don't know why you would present the argument. I don't know why you would present an abductive argument, right? And then try to make a disjunctive comparison for the advantage of design psychophysical harmony theism over type B physicalism, and then randomly switch to colloquial English. Like, why would you do that?
Because I mean, well, like, we're using colloquial English to just like, yes, there's some technical terms. It doesn't mean it has to be only.
But it like opens you. But it's like very obvious you're now equivocating the meaning of the term explain.
Yeah, like what? Okay, and
okay, equivocations are problematic. Like what?
In this context, I don't see. I mean, look. The reason is because you want to say, oh well, they're all just necessary. I'm saying like, okay.
I'm not even saying I'm type B. I'm just telling you, like, you're trying to tell me.
I'm entertaining. Why. Yes, I understand you're not type B, but I'm saying like I'm trying to give you a reason, an argument of why calling everything necessary isn't just like an answer.
Yeah, but again, you're not able to distinguish the kind of explanation. You're not able to distinguish the kind of explanation provided by type B physicalism for why for the mental state's existence and its relationship, its existence in relation to the physical, from whatever you were looking for.
Yeah. So all I'm saying is like, okay, we can compare the two. We can say I have an explanation G, which is God, and this is the one necessary thing, and then you have the type B physicalist has this conjunction of necessary facts, strange coincidences, like why these psychophysical laws rather than, I don't know, the other ones. And then you also have to answer things like fine tuning, things like nomological harmony, and you have to.
If you're trying to give, hold on, stop. If you're trying to say that those theories are worse comparatively, like maybe in terms of their explanatory power, or they have more costs, like. You can say that, but your original point was that it's somehow not giving you an explanation, and that's why its failure to give a certain explanation you're looking for is why it's evidently worse off. Yeah, but what is the explanation it's not able to give you?
Yeah. Okay, I see. I see what you're asking now. Sorry if I ranted. The explanation would just be that, like I said earlier, why these rather than others. Why these specific mappings rather than others?
Yeah, but when you say why, what modality are you referencing?
Like, okay, you have P states that just correspond to neutral experience. Like, I don't know what modality that would be.
No, but you're asking why. You're acting as if there's like a range of alternatives that you need to explain it against. But when you use language like there are alternatives, with respect to what modal system are there possible alternatives? Because of course, if you're referring to the same modal system, S5 is an X. S5 is a deductive axiomatic like framework. It's not the modal. It's not like the content of the modal semantics.
Okay, so would it be modal logic? I'm not sure. You know the jargon.
It's the modality. Like they're like metaphysical, logical, physical, non-logical.
Oh, sure.
Right?
I mean, yeah. Okay, thanks. Logical.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're saying it's
also,
okay. Wait,
I have to pause. I have to pause and say you're being extremely good faith and you're filling me in on the things that I don't know. And as an honest debater, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, why logically? Okay, but I just want to clarify then. Do you think? But this doesn't work because now you're equivocating the modality of the actual original abduction because.
Oh yeah, because I was using
psychophysical harmony.
Right.
Is not logically necessary.
Right.
So.
Good point. Okay, so let me think. So, okay, if it's not right, because it can't be possible world semantics. It can't be. You said what would like metaphysical?
Yeah,
what would be the problem with metaphysical?
Yeah. Well, if you say metaphysical, then that doesn't work. The question doesn't make sense because the type B physicalist just says it's metaphysically necessary. So like that is the question doesn't make sense.
Sure. That is a good question. Like what? Okay, I mean you don't have to answer this, but like what would the theist be committed to saying here? You don't have to answer that.
What would the theist be committed to saying in response to what?
What type of modality they would be using to?
Yeah, I mean usually they talk about metaphysics, but that's why that's not. But so I mean like it's not as if. I mean, this is the strategy a theist would adopt. They would say, they would not say that there's a kind of explanation it's not giving. They would say this. They'd say, the one thing they could say is they could say that the explanation for psychophysical harmony is more parsimonious under theism than it is naturalism. Not because naturalism can't explain the data, but because it explains the data with more cost. So that's like
okay. So that's kind of what I was referring to, but I just did it worse. I was trying to say like the one explanation G versus the explanations.
But okay, but then there's like I mean so suppose they said that then you just need to become clear on what exactly you're baking into theism and what exactly you're baking into naturalism. So like are you comparing bare theism against bare naturalism? Are you comparing design psychophysical harmony theism against bare naturalism? Like, what are you comparing?
Yeah, so with this symmetry thing, usually like whenever the word bare theism or the words bare theism gets thrown around, I'm always a little skeptical. Some people take that to be as like, I don't know, some people have a really stripped down definition of bare theism. What would your definition of bare theism be?
Yeah, bare theism is, oh, holy galaxy. Thank you for the gift, Manny. Bare theism is something like the universe was intentionally created.
Okay. So bare theism doesn't get you a mind, or sorry, does it get you a mind in this case?
No, it gets you the mind that intentionally created the universe, but it doesn't specify the intention of the universe.
Yeah, but it doesn't give you, okay. Yeah, then I mean, I'm safe committing to bare theism then.
Yeah, but okay, this is the problem though, right? Bare theism doesn't explain psychophysical harmony any better than bare naturalism does. Because bare theism doesn't predict psychophysical harmony. It just predicts that the universe was intended. It doesn't specify how it was intended.
Well, if you agree that bare theism contains a mind, I could just say, well, then this mind has intentions for making it such that the
but now the hypothesis is this is the distinction between bare design and the other designs, right? So like bare design hypothesis is just stipulating that it was designed, whereas now let's say we call it psychophysical harmony design is the hypothesis that God exists and he designed the universe to be to have psychophysical harmony, right? So that's the hypothesis. It's God plus God's intention to create psychophysical harmony.
So okay, maybe I want to switch gears a bit and say like, okay, well maybe they don't have to be bare versus bare. Maybe you could say like, because I think you may agree, like a bare naturalist kind of has a hard time explaining numbers. So I would say, I would say most naturalists probably don't hold to absolute bare naturalism. All that exists is the natural world.
Sure, but the whole point though is like it's about the abduction, and the whole point is, if you're taking the data that you're trying to explain as psychophysical harmony, then do you know what a stalking horse is?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, you could use stalking horse.
Yes. So
Design Theism.
So the problem with stalking horse is like usually they'll say like, again, I'd go with the parsimony things, like, because then you have more coincidences that the naturalist has to agree to, and if you take it the route
coincidence though. What do you mean by coincidence? Do you mean something unexplained, or do you just mean
no, just like when I say coincidence, I mean like explanations that seem like strangely ad hoc. Like, okay, sure, like sure, there's there's psychophysical harmony. Okay, so you're positing that like
yeah, but there's like no symmetry for that though. Like or there's no asymmetry for that, because like it's like very obvious to me that theism is ad hoc.
I mean,
so,
well,
like,
okay. So like,
that's
I mean,
that's not like an objective quality of the evidence or the theory or something. So I don't really think it really matters.
Right. So I mean, yeah, like I would just ask you to reevaluate. It's like, okay, do you want to commit to there being these like weird conjunction of like explanations like over and over again? Because I mean, okay, this is a more like, this is not strictly the argument, but like if you commit to naturalism, not only do you have to admit that there's a strange coincidence in psychophysical harmony if you're not a type A physicalist, but you also have to commit yourself to saying, yes, we got psychophysical harmony, and we got fine tuning, and we got nomenological harmony.
Well,
and
you don't have fine tuning. But by fine tuning, you mean like you have life permitting conditions or something?
Yeah, like I'm just saying that under naturalism as a whole, you have to accept more coincidences. And I know that's not psychophysical directly, but
you don't need to accept a coincidence. Like coincidence is like, it's not a technical term. Like nothing about it's ad hoc. All of the data points are predicted under stalking horse naturalism, where you just stipulate the universe as a disposition towards whatever the thing is that you're trying to explain.
Right. So then I would just be saying, okay, so, and again, I know this isn't really doing it formally because it's supposed to be one argument, but maybe I should defend a cumulative case. I don't know. But the point is that, okay, so the universe just naturally has this 10 to the 120 disposition of the cosmological constant being exactly at the right. Okay. And then it also has this disposition to produce creatures that aren't just flesh zombies and experiencing consciousness. And then it's also just a disposition that we have things like, I don't know, love, relationships, psychophysical harmony. Like it just seems.
I don't see what is the explanatory advantage of theism over stalking horse naturalism?
Occam's razor.
There's not a parsimony concern. Naturalism is more parsimonious.
I actually.
Because you're positing the existence of a fundamentally new kind of thing. Naturalism's not.
I don't even think fine tuning disagrees would agree with that. Like, because if you disagree with fine tuning and say that there's more physics, then you are positing an entirely new thing. You have to you have to posit like entirely new sets of physics, because we don't have
like what.
I mean, they're new sets of physics. But
new sets versus new. So okay, but observe the qualitative difference
under the same like branch. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Of course, yeah. There's like a ontological inflation of kind.
Yeah,
but I don't care if the laws are physics. I'm just regarding them as natural. I don't care. The point is that theism has to believe in the natural and the supernatural, and naturalism can just believe in one. That's a kind of parsimony advantage.
So yeah, then I would just say that why is adding the value necessary? Like, okay, it has like again, I have explanation P, and P has this like star property.
If you're gonna ask why parsimony is a theoretical virtue, then is that what you're gonna say?
No. I'm just saying I don't think that adding supernatural makes it automatically like less parsimonious.
It is. You're inflating the ontic categories.
Yes, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, what if I don't know. What if it's not a natural thing? And I know that's again not very formal, but like
if it's not natural.
What's up?
You're saying what if it's not natural? Theism?
Yeah, like
theism is not natural. That's the problem.
No. I'm saying under your worldview, naturalism, you say, oh yes, the fundamentals are natural. It's like, okay, well, what makes you say like what on earth? How is that coherence?
Well, for one, it's not natural. It's not natural because it doesn't. It's not about. It's not natural because it doesn't depend on the intentional creation of a God, right?
Sorry, I think maybe I misspoke or you misheard me. But,
and the whole point is it's also relevantly parity to every other metaphysical law that we already have. Like you don't have to rewrite the basic metaphysical laws. You can just keep them exactly the same.
I guess my concern is that like consciousness doesn't seem like this just natural like maybe it is, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it just we would be for some reason the only creatures to exhibit this type of like I don't know.
Yeah, the reason why is because of the length of the universe and the dispositions of the universe.
And I mean, look, this is where we're kind of going to get just say like commitments and issues with that. But I would just say like, okay, well, you're committed to all these natural dispositions, sure. And exactly. And I'm just saying that.
But I could also just say I'm committed. I could also just say I'm committed to one massive disposition. I could just argue it's like a naturalistically simple disposition. Like I can parody it to the universe.
I would probably then just take it to the direction that okay, that natural thing would eventually just become God. Like
it wouldn't be because it's dispositions of the universe. It's not like an entity which creates.
If you have if you have this all-encompassing entity that just naturally create, okay, then I would ask why is it such that that entity specifically creates things that number one don't seem natural, but more formally number two give rise to, I don't know.
I think it seems natural. So
yeah, exactly. So we're just gonna I don't know. We're just gonna.
To clarify, I'm not even an atheist for this reason. I just think this is a successful response to fine tuning. This is not even. This isn't even like my. Okay. This isn't my go-to response to this. It's just like.
No, yeah,
sure. It's just like how academics will respond to it.
Here's my only like final like say for that is like okay. With this logic or with this whatever modality of reasoning, you could also apply it to other things. Oh yeah, like if the stars that night spelled out made by God, and you could just say, oh yeah, well the universe is just naturally disposed that way. Look, the physical laws did this to make the stars go together to spell this way, and you could argue that for any evidence for God. So I mean,
sure.
You know, like that'd be my only contention with that. And I mean, again,
I don't think that's an objection. I mean,
yeah, it's not.
Also, I'm not even getting into the problem of the priors. I'm not even getting into how you set evidence. I'm not even getting into the fact that I think theism is like
impossible. Yeah,
unintelligible. Like, yeah, I'm not even getting into all that stuff. So, I mean,
yeah, I mean, again, like there's more to say than can be said in this one little conversation.
Sure.
But, I mean, like, yeah, either way. I mean, if you want to keep taking it further, I can go. Or
no worries, bro. I'll probably cycle guest, but I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah,
I'll follow you. You seem pretty smart.
Cool. Yeah, dude. Likewise, man. Thanks for teaching me. So,
of course. Thanks for coming up here, man.